Okay, good evening, everyone. Thanks for sparing time for me. I'll not take much time. This product, Reskube, when I saw, I called it a magic box, and I decided that I should talk about it. And I should take this to the country and beyond India as well. Because to me, this is the need of the hour, whether we call it BCM or ITDR or operational resilience or organizational resilience, this is the need of the hour according to me. So I'll immediately, with thanks to you all, will pass it on to Andrew. Go ahead, please, Andrew.
Oh, thanks, Daman. And thanks for setting this up. I'm just going to share a couple of slides. I'm going to try not to bore you too much with slides, but I wanted to give you a bit of background as to, I'm not going to share on the full screen. I just want to give you a bit of background about where we've come from. Reskube originally came from a company called Fortress Availability Services, and Fortress actually still does provide work area recovery for financial services companies in London and legal firms in London. And if you're not aware of that, I'm sure most of you are, it's basically full back office. So we've got offices with desk chairs, PCs, screens, telephone systems, etc., all connected up, ready and waiting for people to have disasters. And you basically, it's a bit like an insurance policy. You pay in advance for the ability to pick up the phone and saying, we're having a disaster, we're going to send all of our critical people across to your recovery center. Now, of course, that's changed. Back in March 2020, everyone went home. The pandemic drove us all into our homes, and our customers, our enterprise customers, realized actually home working does work and we can be productive at home. And what that really means is that most of them realized that they didn't need work area recovery and didn't need full back office. Now, that's the exception there is trading, where we still have many dedicated trading customers. But for the main part, people were saying, actually, we don't need work area recovery anymore. So we had to move very quickly. We needed to do something and invent something to be relevant to the new way of working and valuable to our customers. And it always struck me that when we were talking about work area recovery, we were also asked about how resilient is our recovery center, because of course they didn't want to have a disaster in the main office, bring all their critical people across and then have another disaster in their backup office. So we made our recovery centers resilient, and that means we've got dual feed power, dual feed comms, we've got UPS, and we've got a generator. Now, of course, all those people that were doing the critical work in the recovery center are now doing that work at home. And this is where the complication comes in, because it's actually much more complicated, particularly if you're an enterprise, to put resilience into your staff members' homes. So for many staff, you won't need resilience. You'll just need fallback, some form of provision that you can fall back to. So if your power goes out or your internet goes out, you can maybe go to another office, or you can go to a coffee shop, or whatever it is. If for about 5 to 10% of the workforce, they actually need resilience. So they are doing things that mustn't be interrupted. Now, whether that's trading or call center or crisis management or execs, there are things that for business need to happen at particular times. And for that, you need resilience. And this is complicated because IT teams or IT service providers could, I suppose, send out consumer devices. So you could send out a small consumer UPS and a small consumer 4G failover router, a load of cables, and expect your staff member to configure it all. But of course, these staff members are critical or high value. They're not necessarily technical. So you can send all this stuff out, but actually you may never see it again because there's no way of connecting to find out whether it's all set up properly. So it doesn't really answer the question. So what we've done is develop Reskube, which provides both the UPS, the uninterruptible power, and the uninterruptible internet. We've put it in one box, obviously with all the electronics to make it work simply, And simple is the key word here, or straightforward, because it's one device for your IT teams to send to these users. It's one device for the users to get out of the box, plug it in the wall, connect up to their Wi-Fi as they would do an Alexa or a smart TV, and that then gives them resilient power and comms. It really is as simple as that. Now, if they're struggling to set that up, or maybe they've got some other technical issues, your IT team, and on the left here, you can see a quick image of the dashboard. Your IT team can look at, you've got great visibility of what's going on at the other end, basically because we can see into the Reskube device and into the local network. So the benefit here really is simplicity of distribution, simplicity of setup, and most importantly, enterprise-grade levels of control and reporting and management. So I'll stop rambling on and actually give you a quick demo, which is pre-recorded. Let me just make sure I'm pressing the right buttons. Hopefully you can see the right screens.
Yeah.
Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Great. Here we go. The same setup, but this one is supported by a Reskube, and I'll show you the Reskube. Can you hear me? Give me a second.
Bit feeble, but we can.
Second, I'm just going to change the.
And that's providing uninterruptible power and uninterruptible internet. So what we're going to do really is compare how the two PCs react. Both are connected to the same internet source, which is a router just to the left of the screen, and both connected to the same power source. So what I'm going to do first is cut off the internet, basically by turning off a router. Hopefully you'll be able to hear a click. Now what you'll immediately notice is that the Chris on the right here is frozen. Chris on the left hasn't frozen. This YouTube is buffering, or has buffered. But what you'll notice is the ping has timed out. So there is actually no internet to this PC now. So in a few seconds, this YouTube will freeze, and actually this Zoom call will drop off. What you can see on the left-hand side, of course, is that there is no problem at all. Chris is still working away, and we're still having the Zoom call. We're still receiving the news, and unfortunately, usually bad news. But underneath here, we've got the recursive ping, and that's just showing us that actually it's still connected to the internet. There is no problem. Now, of course, in many circumstances, as in fact there was yesterday in London, and as a result of many of the storms, power goes out as well. So occasionally there are these power cuts, and if you're doing something critical, of course, you don't want to stop work. I'm going to simulate a power cut simply by turning off the power. So there we go. And what you will hear is the beep, which is basically Reskube saying we're actually on battery power now, and that battery power will support a configuration like this for about half a day, and support a laptop and provide all the internet access for about 10 hours. So again, you can see that this home worker is stopped dead in the tracks, whereas this home worker is just continuing. Great, so that was it. Very, very straightforward. Always on power and internet in a box. So what's the difference then between Reskube and, say, a UPS and a 4G failover router and a load of cables that you might send out to some staff members? Well, the real difference is the fact that it's enterprise grade. And what I mean by that is that if you're sending out the UPS 4G failover router, a load of cables out to your staff members, there's a number of issues with that. Many of your critical staff members will be critical, but not necessarily technical. And so it'll be actually a complex matter to get them to set everything up correctly. And even then, you're never quite sure whether it's set up correctly because you can't see them. So you've sent these devices out the door and pretty much that's it. You've never seen them again. So with Reskube, we have a remote management dashboard, which enables you to interrogate the remote devices to make sure they're online and correctly configured. It means then that you're able to report on them, so you can actually prove that you have that level of resilience for those staff members. And very importantly, it means that these high-value staff members, when they need support, are going to actually have better support, because you'll have better visibility into the infrastructure that they have at their end. So you're able to faster diagnose and faster remediate any problems. So Chris is going to run through the remote management dashboard and explain basically how it all works and how the IT teams can see and help their remote users.
Thanks, Andrew. So a quick look at how the RMS communication works. Reskubes are connected to the RMS via the internet using message queuing, telemetry transport, and TLS. The admin connects into the RMS via two-factor authentication over HTTPS. Our platform is hosted on AWS, and we take advantage of their highly resilient and secure infrastructure. All features you'll see in this demo can bed into your own portal using our secure API. I'm just going to log in into our RMS and demonstrate the two-factor authentication. That should be authenticated now. And here's our RMS. I'm going to list all our devices that are attached to this account. We can import all Reskubes in bulk via CSV. So these could be named anything you would like. We can also import tags by CSV and assign them in bulk to certain Reskube devices. This makes it easier to define certain Reskubes that's tagged in a certain way. We can see which Reskubes are online that have connectivity into RMS, when information was last updated from certain Reskubes, mobile signal quality, how the Reskube is connected to the internet. It might be wired into the home user's broadband network, or if they have good Wi-Fi coverage, their router might be downstairs and their office might be upstairs, and they can connect via the Wi-Fi WAN interface. We can also see what Reskubes have failed over to the mobile network. And then, of course, when their broadband or their home network is back up again, it'll fail back over to their primary connections. Also, what carriers they're currently connected to as well. I'm now going to log into Reskube that is online. You can see more information now on this Reskube. Each Reskube has 2 SIM slots in an active passive failover configuration. Auto switch cases between the two could be weak signal, data limits, no network, network denied, or data connection failure. You can also see the monthly data usage on each of the SIMs here as well. More information on the WAN state and its interface. Also, device history. By default, the Reskube will update its device information every 30 minutes. And this can be disabled at any time or extended or decreased. An example of the update history is listed here. So by a given date, we can see on a selected parameter information on its WAN IP. The recent network events, these can all be set up as alerts, and these can be sent to a specific email address. These alerts could be signal strength if they go below a certain threshold, SIM switch when they fail over between each of the SIM cards, status change if it becomes online or offline, and also mobile data thresholds as well. And reporting is also another useful feature.
So I'm going to stop it there. We could go on forever, but hopefully it gives you a good flavour of the system and the sort of the value, if you like, of Reskube in supporting remote users and also providing them with resilience. And it's those 2 key elements that really are a challenge for most enterprise customers in the current hybrid working environment, and Reskube's designed specifically to be able to address that. Darren. So thanks, over to you, Darren.
As simple as that?
Simple as that.
That's surprising. Yes, I'm happy that I got in touch with you. As I said, my name is Magic Box. You
Right,
are saying
excellent.
Reskube.
We'll
I'm
change,
saying
we'll change our name to,
it's a Magic Box. I believe it's the need of the hour. Thank you very much, all of you. This was not a webinar. You spared time specifically for me. I had requested you. So again, thanks for that. Wish me luck that I'm able to take this across the country, companies. Quickly, we wanted to show the contract signing. So I'm showing this is the signed one. This is how e-signing we would do. So
excellent.
Andrew,
Yeah, well,
and
I'm looking
I would
forward
say
to, very much looking forward to working with you, Dan, and thanks again for deciding to work with us.
to this beginning, I will say rescue team. Thanks, Akshay. And again, Kanan, Akshay, Yogita. Quick update on what's next from me then. The great debate appears to be becoming a regular event now, fortnightly. Third episode will be live on 15th of April, Friday, 8:30 p.m. IST, and my own LMS. At that time, Yogita will be speaking as Andrew has been speaking now, most likely Yogita or Harvey perhaps. Right? It's my LMS. I believe in a week we should be live. So that's what's coming up. Yogita, you want to speak?
No, I think that's good. I think, yes, it's in action. And let's hope we can actually make that a good event.
Great. Thank you very much once again. Any questions for me? I may not be able to take many questions about Reskube. All that I know is the Magic Box that I said in the beginning and a couple of times, but Andrew and Dimeji may be able to help. If you have any questions, we have time. If not, then please feel free to write later also. You may think about it later and help me to spread the word across, please. Andrew, Dimeji, any final words from you before we call off the evening?
No, simply thank you very much for organising, and thanks everyone for attending. If you've got questions, of course, you can fire them to us through Daman, and yeah, very happy to help.
Thank you, Andrew.
If you all can switch on cameras, I would like to take a picture, and with their permission, I'll post it so you all will become the global celebrities. So if you don't mind, please switch on the cameras.
Daman sir, currently I'm on the street right now. I'm on a field sales right now.
It's
Will it
okay.
be okay if I don't switch it on?
That proves that you are a salesperson. Great. Thank you very much. Can I have the best smiles, please? Thank you very much. With this, then we'll close. Repeatedly, you spared a time for me. This was not a webinar, no education, etc. here, no learning, but for me. So great help. And I'll keep bringing more about Reskube to you as we progress. Any questions, please feel free to write to me. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Thanks,
Enjoy
everyone.
the day.
Sure. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.